riding in a contest. It takes a lot for me mentally to prepare myself and get in a relaxing mindset to where I can ride and be comfortable. Pretty stoked that I've got that under control now. I'm Brock Rayford. I'm 22 years old. I'm from New Orleans, Louisiana, and I currently live in Long Beach, California. People like to consider me a street rider, but I really like to ride everything. So whether it be park, dirt, or street, I'm a BMX rider. I just want to do something that isn't exactly what everyone else is doing. That way when people go back and look on me as a professional rider, they can be like, oh, he kind of did his own thing.
He is what a BMX street rider should be. He's consistent, he's progressive, he can put it together in 60 seconds, and he can put out an amazing video part.
My goals are just to keep riding, attend as many contests as I can, and I would just enjoy being on my bike. Simple Session to me is a pretty important contest to BMX. Not only is it the first one of the season, but it's one that brings everyone under one roof.
You get guys like Sean Urkani hanging out with some Russian park assassin dude.
At other contests, it's split up. It's park riding, street riding, but at Simple Session, everyone is there to compete in the same contest.
I don't think contests really represent street riding at all. Simple Session, which of course is good, but it's not what BMX street is. Street is like this untangible thing where you have to go out and find a setup that you want to do and you have to work towards it. It's not 60 seconds of your life and putting down tricks. I think street dudes go out there to have a good time and to ride a cool event and touch a butt.
The party vibe in Estonia is off the charts.
That's the reason why Simple Session got put on the map, because of the parties, because of the nightlife, because of the entire vibe of the event.
It's rough making the choice to go back to the hotel and sleep or stay there with your boys and party and have a good time. It's either practice the next day or it's qualifying or it's even finals, so it's insane.
BMX is progressing at such a fast rate that it's hard to pit one thing against another. Street and park are both insanely difficult.
When I think of Simple Session, someone killing it, they'll do crazy NBD style tricks in street and in parks.
There is those first ever things because those dudes get the chance to actually try that stuff, where you have more strict events like X Games and it's like the buzzer goes off, you're done, you're kicked off the course.
Courage Adams, wow. My mouth was on the floor pretty much the whole time.
Courage is incredible, obviously. I mean, the stuff he was doing on a consistent basis, I feel like he could have almost won the event.
Some people didn't agree with where Courage placed, but at the same time, I mean, the judges have their way of scoring.
It was an honor to be asked to judge an event like Simple Session, but I also knew it was going to be difficult. When you have the two disciplines of park and street blended into one event, it's always challenging, to say the least.
You can't put Larry Edgar versus Brock. It just doesn't work that way.
It's like judging apples versus oranges. One might be, let's say, like a technical nose wheelie line by Courage Adams versus a huge transfer by Larry Edgar. It's tough to judge, but at the same time, I appreciate when guys have the skill, but then they also have the presence of mind to do their own unique thing. I think that something like that really differentiates riders and, in my mind, makes them do really well. Brock Rayford's one of my favorite riders to watch at an event like Simple Session. The fact that he can do some crazy rail trick but then also turn around and do a flare on a quarter pipe that's just something that's always fun to watch because you just never know what to expect.
With the judging, I kind of felt right where I was supposed to be. I mean, I noticed myself that I wasn't really that hyped on my final runs. You know, they didn't work out how I wanted them to, and that's just the name of the game sometimes. I don't want to put that stress on myself that I should have done this and that, because then that brings in a lot of self-doubt. It's rough and it sucks, but sometimes you just don't ride your best, and that's okay. I did my final trick, my hat fell off, and then I grabbed it. I was pretty hyped on that. My hat didn't hit the ground. I think what gave Kevin Peraza the win was his attitude towards the contest.
Peraza is like a mesh between everything. He's not the twirling skier, gymnast, park rider, and he's more in tune with the street side. And he has that creativity that doesn't really exist in a lot of those dudes. And so I think that's what separates him.
He wanted to ride everything and had fun riding everything, and I think that's what Simple Session is. For a while, I put a lot of pressure on myself that I needed to do really well in contests. The fact that if I didn't succeed in the way that I wanted to, or a place where I thought I was going to, I kind of shut down and thought that that was it, you know, that my time had come and passed, and kind of based my whole BMX riding on that one contest. And I realized that that's really not the way to do it. When I go into it thinking that I'm just gonna ride my best, and no matter where I end up, if I pulled the tricks that I wanted to do and I had fun and I am super stoked on the way I rode, then I could care less where I placed. And that is actually what helped me get through X Games.
Brock's 22, traveling the world. I mean, he can get a third at X Games this year. That's the best he's ever done. And then he went on to win the Vans Street event shortly after that. The kid's legit.